Good afternoon. We begin with breaking news here at 4 o'clock as Richard Allen's lawyers step down, removing themselves from the Delphi murders case.
That announcement came out in just the last 2 hours as cameras were rolling in the courtroom. So let's get right out to Bob Siegel. He's been at the Allen County Courthouse all day. Bob, fill us in.
Felicia and Dustin, just stunning developments here in Allen County. The entire trial in the Delphi murders case right now is essentially on hold because, as you mentioned, the defendant's attorneys have both stepped down from this case. The most telling moment that happened in today's short hearing happened before the hearing even started. What I can share with you is that the defense attorney, Brad Rosie, he walked into the courtroom. He approached Richard Allen's wife and mother in the gallery, whispered something to them, and then they all left the courtroom together. We would not see them again for the rest of the afternoon. Moments later, we understood what that was foreshadowing. The judge started the hearing and she made a surprise announcement.
We've had an unexpected turn of events, ladies and gentlemen. Earlier this afternoon, the defense attorneys have withdrawn their representation of Mr. Allen. Mr. Baldwin made an oral motion to withdraw. I granted that oral motion to withdraw, and Mr. Rosie will be submitting a written motion to withdraw, I'm assuming within the next couple of days.
So again, now that both of the attorneys have stepped down in the case, what comes next? Well, new counsel is going to have to be appointed. The judge said that that will happen because Richard Allen's status, he is still considered indigent. All the evidence that was shared with the defense team, that is going to have to be returned to the state. There is a hearing coming up on October 31st to set a new trial date. Whether the trial is going to be delayed a matter of weeks or months is yet to be seen, but this will likely be a significant delay in the trial for Richard Allen. And for the time being, certainly the January 8th trial date, the trial that was set to begin early next year, that date is now going to be off the books. So I can tell you in the courtroom, State Police Superintendent, investigators were in the courtroom. As soon as this was announced, the State Superintendent of Police looked at me, gave a big sigh. This throws the entire proceedings right now really up in the air as far as what's going to happen next. So why did all of this happen? Well, Emily Longnecker is going to be coming up at 4:30. She's going to explain some documents that were filed in court this morning that really help us to understand why the defense attorneys stepped down and why the judge in this case made this dramatic announcement. Dustin, Felicia?
Yeah, those documents certainly provide some potential insight into that. You mentioned Richard Allen's mom and his wife inside the courtroom. Bob, what about Richard Allen? Was he in the courtroom at all?
Richard Allen was here in the courthouse today. In fact, his wife got to go back into chambers behind the courtroom to visit with him before the hearing took place, but we never saw Richard Allen. The judge, since his attorneys had stepped down, essentially she saw no point to bring Richard Allen into the courtroom. She ordered him to be returned to the Westville Correctional Facility, so we did not get to see Richard Allen at all today. We did see the families of the victims. Abby and Libby's families were in the courtroom. They left today without any comment. Of course, there's still a gag order in this case, so the families and all the attorneys and the investigators, they're really not allowed to say anything at this point to the media at all.
All right, Bob Siegel reporting live from Allen County outside the courthouse. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. We will check in a little bit later and continue our team coverage. And this announcement is just the latest hurdle to hit this case, and it comes as the families of Abby Williams and Libby German continue to wait for answers.
Yeah, they have waited so long. It has been more than 6 years since the two teens were found murdered in Delphi. Let's take a look at the legal developments since that day.
On February 13th, 2017, Libby and Abby disappeared. The next day, their bodies were found. A day after that, on February 15th, police revealed images of the suspected killer. February 22nd, they release a recording of the alleged killer's voice saying, "Down the hill." In July of 2017, police released a sketch of the alleged killer. Then, nearly 2 years later, in April of 2019, state police released an updated sketch and additional audio. On October 26, 2022, Richard Allen was arrested and on the 28th charged. Police announced Allen's arrest in Libby and Abby's murders 3 days later. November 3rd, Richard Allen is transferred to the Westville Correctional Facility, a state prison in Northwest Indiana. On November 29th, a redacted probable cause is released. This summer, on June 15th, we learned the trial date, set for January 8th, 2024. September 20th, Allen's attorneys submitted a filing alleging the girls' deaths were part of an Odinist ritual sacrifice and accused detectives of ignoring or intentionally suppressing evidence for years. Earlier this month, the judge called a hearing ordering all parties to be in attendance, and on October 17th decided cameras would be allowed in the courtroom.
And then, of course, this afternoon's huge twist, and now we know that January trial date is not going to happen. Our coverage of this bombshell development in the case is far from over.
And like Bob mentioned, we saw a handful of new filings in this case today. Our entire newsroom has actually been going over these this afternoon. Emily Longnecker specifically is going to dig into them, lay them out for you, what you need to know. That's coming up ahead at 4:30.